everyone, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel. So, Formula 1 drivers and their salaries is a massive topic on everybody's lips all year round, no matter whether you are in the Formula 1 paddock or whether you are just out in the community. How much the world champions are being paid, how much you are being paid if you're swapping teams, or whether you're getting more than your teammates, everything like that is such a big topic within Formula 1. So I thought for today's video, I would talk you through the 2021 F1 drivers' salaries from bottom to who is getting the most amount of money. I actually saw my friend and fellow content creator Aldas do this back in 2019, so I thought I would do an updated version for 2021. Before I get to the video, if you do enjoy it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy this content. I currently have 70% of you who watch my videos do not subscribe, so I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be doing content like this throughout the whole year. But yeah, without further ado, I think we should get started. I just want to make a quick disclaimer here. Obviously, I don't physically know what is in their contracts. I've never seen their contracts, but this is from my research and looking at all the information I can find is roughly how much these guys are getting paid this year. Okay, so coming in at number 20 is our very own Yuki Tsunoda, coming in at 500,000 US dollars or 350,000 British pounds. Yuki Tsunoda, honestly, I don't think that's bad. I think most people do kind of start on a similar wage like that when they come up into Formula 1, especially with how much he is inexperienced, and also because he's in that Red Bull program, they just fling people around left, right and centre, and it's not like just going into an independent team. You are in that Red Bull structure, so you kind of get what you're given. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think it's good for a first step up. He's in the AlphaTauri. It looks very strong this year, so hopefully they can get some points. But yeah, Yuki is the lowest paid driver on the grid with 500,000 US dollars, which is still a massive amount. Now, next in number 19, we have Nikita Mazepin, who is driving for Haas this year, and he is also coming in at 500,000 US dollars or 350,000 Great British pounds. The reason why I put him ahead of Yuki is because, I mean, he's bought his seat, he's got his own money. I don't really know what's going on in between, but this is his actual wage if you were to look at it on the surface. So this is how much he's getting. We know that Yuki is probably, that's how much, you know, he's getting. But with Nikita, there's all little other things going on. But yeah, I mean, it's decent. It's his first year in Formula 1. He kind of had a similar program coming up with Yuki Tsunoda. He done very well in the Formula 2 last year. So solid wage to come in with your first year in Formula 1. Now, coming in at number 18 is Antonio Giovinazzi. Now, actually, when I looked at Antonio's wage, it literally had not changed in the last 3 years. Like, he has consistently been paid pretty much the same amount of money. He is getting 600,000 US dollars or 400,000 Great British pounds, which, considering he is in his third year in Formula 1, is a very low wage. But again, he is kind of governed by Ferrari in a way, and I know a lot of people from Italy have put a lot of money into him keeping his seat, so I'm pretty sure Antonio is more like, I'm surviving to keep this seat than, you know, I'm a great driver, pay me money. So it's a little bit weird, you know, considering this is his third year on the same wage, but at the same time, Antonio has not done anything drastic in Formula 1 that would warrant him having a higher wage. But if you compare it to Kimi Räikkönen, who is coming up in a little bit, it is a massive, massive difference. Coming in at number 17 is the second Haas driver, and this is Mick Schumacher. He is being paid 700,000 US dollars or 500,000 Great British pounds. Now, I think how Mick's agreement is working is that Ferrari is actually paying half of his way with the Haas seat this year, and then some of it is coming from sponsorships. So he's got a large backing from Ferrari, and to be on that wage coming straight into Formula 1 is pretty good. You know, he's being paid more than the likes of Antonio Giovinazzi, who's been in the sport for 3 years now. He's being paid more than his teammate Nikita Mazepin. He's being paid more than Yuki Tsunoda, who came up from Formula 2 as well. So overall, I think that's a really good wage for Mick, and I feel like that will go up and up, as we know, throughout his years in Formula 1. Now, coming in 16th and 15th are the Williams boys. Now, Nicholas Latifi and George Russell actually get paid the same amount of money. It is 1.1 million US dollars or 800,000 Great British pounds. They are literally exactly the same wage. I mean, all for equality in the teams, they kind of, it's difficult because if you look at it on the surface, they do a similar job in the way of how they finish. And, you know, George is always very unlucky, especially how he was with Robert Kubica a couple of years ago. So, I mean, if you look at it, George really should be being paid more because he is doing a better job every single weekend. But obviously, we know Nicholas brings a lot into the team with money, so we don't know how things are going in that way. But, I mean, overall, Williams are doing a good job at keeping everything equal. We know that George will eventually move up to Mercedes, so I presume that will go up quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of low for them too, but we know that Williams are in a bit of a transitioning stage, so I get it. Okay, so next we have a couple of similar salaries. I don't know why I've done this in this order, but I have. And number 14 is Pierre Gasly for AlphaTauri. Pierre is coming in at $2 million or 1.4 million Great British pounds. I mean, honestly, a fair deal. I mean, he is a race winner, so I don't know whether he could have haggled more money. I don't know how it works in that Red Bull system at all. I don't think I even want to know. I mean, for his talent, I kind of would have thought it would have been slightly a bit higher. I would have used that race win to his advantage. But I mean, it's a good price, and he is the lead AlphaTauri driver. He is getting considerable more amount than Yuki Tsunoda. He has got a lot more experience in Formula 1, so I probably would have liked to have seen him get a little bit more, but I don't know who governs that. I don't know if it's through AlphaTauri, whether it's through Red Bull. I don't know who actually runs the kind of wage system. But yeah, Pierre Gasly is 14th. Now coming in at number 13 is Lando Norris. He is on exactly the same wage of $2 million or 1.4 million Great British pounds. Honestly, I really thought Lando would be higher because of his talent. He's a very talented driver, and he completely matched Carlos Sainz last year with McLaren, and Carlos was on a much higher and a lot more millions with his wage last year. So I kind of get it with Lando's first year, maybe his second year, but for his third year to still be on this low, I would have thought he would have got a little bit more than this, especially as coming up his teammate is getting so much more money. Yeah, Lando, I feel like I don't know, because I don't feel like from McLaren we don't get that picture that he is underrated. You know, Zach Brown and Andreas Seidel and the rest of the team speak about Lando so highly. Just looking at it from, you know, eye level like this, I think it's too low considering, you know, he has done some amazing things in that McLaren. Now coming on to number 12 is none other than Lance Stroll for Aston Martin. Now again, we could probably take this one with a little bit of a pinch of salt because he is coming in with the same amount as Pierre Gasly and Lando Norris, and that is at $2 million or 1.4 million Great British pounds. Now I don't know how it works because his dad runs a team. I think they probably just put that out as the wage, but whether he gets paid from his dad another way or whether it's just within the family, I don't know. I don't know too much about moving money and stuff, but again, looking at it like that, it's probably, again, it's a little bit too low for Lance. I feel like all three of those drivers could get a little bit more. They all have different attributes for different reasons, but yeah, Lance Stroll at $2 million. Now number 11 is Sergio Perez for Red Bull. Now he was coming in between 3 and 5 million US dollars. It was rounded out by 2.5 million Great British pounds. I couldn't find an exact amount for Checo, but he is in that region, and honestly I think it's a good deal for him. I don't think it's a bad deal. It's, you know, he's moving to Red Bull and he's getting a race winning car. He was going to be out of Formula 1 last year. Right at the end of the year, we didn't know whether he'd have this seat or not, obviously at the expense of Alex Albon. So I think that's a quite good, decent wage. We know Checo has got a lot of money anyway, so I don't really think it would be too concerning how much money he would get. We know he is now a race winner, so he's got that in hand. But yeah, I think pretty good wage there from Red Bull. Now moving on to mid-pack, we have actually got Esteban Ocon in 10th. Esteban is getting quite a little bit of money here. I did not realise this man would be getting paid quite as much as he is. So he's getting 4.5 million US dollars or 3 million Great British pounds. I didn't expect this. I don't know why. I feel like in my head it was always like Alpine are spending loads of money on Daniel Ricciardo, Alpine are now spending loads of money on Fernando Alonso. Maybe they aren't paying as much for Esteban Ocon. I thought he would be in the region that Pierre, Lando and Lance are, but he is actually getting considerably amount higher. I mean, good on him. He seems to have baggled that. Apparently it's the same wage as what he had in 2020 as well, so he has been bagging that money for a good 2 years now. So honestly, I mean, I am surprised about that one, but fair enough. Esteban Ocon, you know, he hasn't done the best the last couple of years, so I don't know how long that will last, but overall he's collecting the bag, fair enough. Now coming in at 6.8 million US dollars or 5 million Great British pounds is none other than the new Ferrari signing, Carlos Sainz. I think that's a great deal for Carlos. I actually don't think he was on too much of a dissimilar budget from McLaren. I don't believe that his salary has actually gone up that much moving on to Ferrari, but regardless, I think that that is a good wage to be on when it's your first year at Ferrari. He's been taken on with Ferrari regardless, so I think you would take whatever you get, and that is a pretty good deal. Now number 8 is Antonio Giovanazzi's teammate in Kimi Raikkonen. Now we know that Antonio was only getting 600,000 US dollars, whereas Kimi is actually getting 7 million US dollars, which is fair enough. It is Kimi Raikkonen. He is a world champion and he can do pretty much whatever he wants. He is here because he wants to be here, and he's getting a very good amount of money. It equates to about 5 million Great British pounds. So honestly, fair enough. Not really much to say about Kimi. He just gets what he wants. He is that world champion and he will just make his money, do what he needs to do in Alpha, and then move over. Now, coming in at number 7 for $11 million or 8 million Great British pounds is Charles Leclerc. I believe his wage has gone up 1 million since 2020, and honestly, fair enough, because he had a very good 2020 year. I really don't think that, you know, this is unreasonable. I think he done very well in that Ferrari in 2019, getting his first couple of wins. 2020, he really pulled that Ferrari onto the podium when it shouldn't have been on the podium. Great qualifying, and again in Bahrain, he done an amazing job to make sure that that Ferrari was right up there. So I think Charles Leclerc is worth this. We know that he is one of their future stars. We know that they've got him for the long haul now. So why not pay him a large amount of money? Again, it's not loads, I mean, it is millions, but it's not loads more than Carlos Sainz. So it's not like they've given Carlos a bad deal, but I completely get why they would put all that money in Charles Leclerc, and I can back that. Now, number 6 is exactly the same as Charles Leclerc, and this is Valtrye Bottas. He is on $11 million or 8 million Great British pounds, and I mean, fair enough for Valtteri Bottas. I mean, if you look at what Lewis is on, you know, it is a little bit low, but I don't really know what leg Valtteri has to stand on. You know, with Charles, he can be like, I'm the lead in this team, I've won these races, but Valtteri can't be like, yeah, I've won these races, but my teammate is a 7-time world champion. So I think overall quite a good amount of wage for Valtteri. I think it's pretty fair having Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc on a similar wage. Obviously, I know it's not from the same people, but I think that's fair enough. Now, number 5 is Sebastian Vettel at Aston Martin. Now, Seb is getting a hefty wage. This really jumps up here. Seb is getting $17 million, which equates to about 12 million Great British pounds. He is getting a big chunk of money from Aston Martin, and they put a lot of faith in him, because they definitely would not have needed to have paid Checo Perez that amount of money if they would have kept him on, but they put a lot of money and a lot of faith into the 4-time world champion. And again, I've just said 4-time world champion in Sebastian Vettel. I didn't, you know, he can pretty much go in a team and ask for how much he wants. 4-time world champion, we don't have another one other than Lewis on the grid like that. So $17 million, absolutely, Seb, get it. Moving on to our final 4 now. Next we have Daniel Ricciardo for McLaren, and we know Daniel had a massive amount of money from Renault. It was a massive thing, especially in Drive to Survive. Daniel Ricciardo is getting loads of money from Renault. He was getting $20 million from Renault, and he did take a little bit of a cut to go to McLaren, but actually researching this, wasn't that much of a cut, so I'm not entirely sure on these figures. I have a feeling he is getting less than this, but everything I've seen it is saying this amount, but I'm just not 100% sure. So he's on $17 million, which equates to around 12 million Great British pounds. So that is pretty much the same as Sebastian is on. And I mean, if this is the case, however, I still believe that this is a little bit high. If this is the case, I really don't know why there is a massive difference between Daniel and Lando. Yes, you look at the stats, and I know we look at, you know, Daniel's got all these race wins, Daniel's got the pole positions, but honestly, I don't know if there's going to be that much worth of a gap between Daniel and Lando to warrant that amount of money. But either way, Daniel's came in, he's got a great deal. I would love that money, and fair play to him. Now, the top 3 is starting off with Fernando Alonso. He is signed by Alpine. We know that, you know, that Renault Alpine type team like to put a lot of money into their drivers, and they have done that exact thing with Fernando Alonso. Now, Fernando is on 14.5 million Great British pounds, or between 15 and 20 million US dollars. It's actually going to be 20 when you include his bonuses. 20 million US dollars. Wow, what a wage he has been put on, considering Sebastian Vettel is a 4-time world champion and he is on 17 million, whereas Fernando Alonso is a 2-time world champion, but he is on 20. But again, Alpine have put a lot of faith in him. He is an amazing driver. You know he's going to come in, and you know he's going to do what he needs to do, and he's going to give the experience for the team that they need, because they have been a little rattled the last couple of years. I think if you're going to do it and you're going to bring Fernando in, he's going to get the money he wants, and that's exactly what he's done. So overall, I mean, it's a lot of money, but it is Fernando Alonso, so I can't argue with it. Now, number 2 is Max Verstappen for Red Bull. We know Red Bull are going to give Max exactly how much he wants, and they're probably going to overpay him, and that's kind of what they've done. He's coming in at 20 million US dollars, the same as Fernando Alonso, or 14.5 million Great British pounds. Now, I actually read that apparently in 2020 he got 25 million US dollars, but I can't really see that he would take a pay cut in the year, so I don't know how accurate that was. But $20 million is just an obscene amount of money for Max Verstappen, but this really doesn't shock me that much. Like, it really doesn't. I didn't expect Red Bull to put their money anywhere else than over in Max Verstappen's pocket. I mean, he does a good job for the Red Bull. The Red Bull team is Max Verstappen's team. He does a very good job in that Red Bull. He has always, you know, had the edge over his teammates, so fair enough if they do want to pay him that much. Personally, I actually think if you look at his worth compared to the other drivers in this list that I've spoken about, I don't think he should be worth quite that much. But he's getting paid, and fair enough. And the final one, no surprise at all, at the top is Sir Lewis Hamilton, who is a 7-time world champion racing for Mercedes, and he is on 55 million US dollars. Honestly, Lewis can ask for how much he wants. We've never seen a world champion in the history other than Michael Schumacher, you know, come in and be like, I'm a 7-time world champion. You know, Lewis is the only one that's really been like, I'm on a roll here. I've got 7 world championships. How much do you want to pay me? And fair play to him. I mean, to have 55 million US dollars in your pocket, you can't argue with him. You cannot argue with him. I mean, it's a big jump between Lewis and Bottas, but if you look at the performance difference, Bottas just doesn't do what Mercedes need him to do, and he's had 5 years at that team now. Lewis delivers every single weekend, no matter what. So I think Lewis Hamilton is worth that amount of money. Obviously, it's an absurd amount of money, and look at the jump between $20 million and 55 million US dollars between Max and Lewis. It is a massive, massive amount. But I don't know. I can't sit here and be like, you shouldn't pay him that much, because he is a 7-time Formula 1 world champion. So there we have it. Those are our 20 FIA Formula 1 2021 drivers. Did I say that right? I don't know. Those are our drivers for this year for Formula 1, and those are their salaries. Again, I can't confirm this is 100% true, but that is everything I have found. If this was interesting to you, please give it a like, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel down below if you want to see more like this. I'm really interested in stuff like this. I love looking into seeing how much they're getting paid for what they're doing, the teammate differences, and things like that. And I think we've got a great grid here. We've got a lot of money. We know, I can't believe I was even just speaking about money that much. These Formula 1 drivers are getting paid so much money that I will never see in my lifetime. But yeah, thanks again for watching the video, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.